Check. There we go. Okay. Think think everything's working. I hope everything's working. Um, Seems to be a night of technical difficulties. Uh, but we made it. I wasn't. Well, yesterday I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna stream, and then today I was like, no, I'm not gonna stream. And then my girlfriend's like, why don't you stream? She won. So here I am, whiskey in hand, and Legion miniatures ready to go. Um, yeah, so it is Sunday night. Um, Again, I never stream on Sundays, but tomorrow's Memorial Day. I've got off of work. I'm going to be smoking some tri-tips and making some bacon wrapped vegetables. It's gonna be great. I'm very excited. I like to eat, and um, actually got a good amount of stuff done today. Took another weekend nap. I love those, and I got a well, I reprimed the rest of my clone trooper army. Reprimed them black because then I will dry brush over them and use this one-step special sauce with white blue Pro Acryl paint and make some magical clone troopers. Um, did some zenithal airbrushing on my ATTE walker. That's that big six-legged predecessor to the AT-AT from Star Wars. This was the clone. They showed him up in Attack of the Clones. Had those big guns that were shooting those droid spaceships down. Um, so I did print one of those off from Gambody a while ago. Got it all put together, finally primed it, and now I just did a few shades of gray with various levels of airbrushing. So now I'll come back in, dry brush, do some touch ups, and call it a finished walker. Um, yeah, I reprimed my Wookiees. I did a zenithal airbrush with black brown and then hit it 45 degrees with the taupe, taupe. And I will use the warm brown one-step paint on those. I may actually pull one out tonight. We'll see. I've got this, I can't even remember what these little walkers are called. The little single man walkers that I want to mess with. I reprimed it black. And I've been doing a lot of repriming. Hmm. So I'm gonna go ahead bring us into here. Um, Kind of strange. I've been using Spotify Premium, although I don't think I'll just keep the same music for you guys. Sorry. I don't have anything playing right now. I got a notice, an email, um, that using the Knights of the Old Republic 2 video game soundtrack, um, it's sorry, I'm looking. It gave me a let's see. No, see that's a playlist. I don't want to mess with that. I think I have to type in OST. Yeah, so when I did the so these are all playlists. It's gonna be weird, but we're gonna be listening to World of Warcraft. I got the not the DMCA or whatever they call those, but I got like a notification so that my VODs were muted. So I'm gonna be painting Star Wars, and we're gonna listen to World of Warcraft Midnight soundtrack, which is really weird, but although when I multi-streamed YouTube and I didn't get any warnings or anything. So let's pull up our mini painting. I want to change just real quick. I want to mess with this URL for my alert box. I don't know if this will work. I've got the audio separated so that this will go, OBS goes to my my headphones only. So I don't know if these alerts are gonna go. We'll see. We shall see. Ooh, let's here, let's do this. Ooh, he popped up. So the real question is could any of you guys hear that? If there's anyone in there. I don't know if we got anybody here yet. I might test that later. But okay. That's we'll see if the audio worked on that. Actually, let's do this. This should tell me. Yeah, I think that's only going to me. Hold on. Hold that thought. So I didn't want the chat beeping to be heard by everybody, but I think then that takes out all my sound alerts too. Which is not a big deal because I don't have a lot of sound alerts. But I may just have to, because I got my stream manager on my phone right in front of me. Let's see. So we're gonna go to our, you guys can stare at my cool little, whatever walker this is. Will I do this? Volume mixer. Okay, so OBS. We're gonna set this back to default. That should put it firmly back there. So, I think. So now, let's send a different one. Hey. Oh, y'all should have heard that. Beautiful. Okay. Enough playing around. Let's open my hues back up. Yeah, it restarted my computer a bunch of times today and just had to restart it again. And it doesn't seem to this last time it didn't remember all of my all my Internet Explorer tabs. Closed all. It's really sad. I gotta remember which ones I had open. So lights. Good. Alright. Let's move some of this stuff. So we're gonna still use this little dry brush. Yeah. I primed this Well, I originally primed it dark neutral gray, but I kind of want to build up the walker to be gray. Um, so I'm gonna, if I can remember where I keep my paints, dark neutral gray. I need to go back to the Monument Hobbies stream from a while ago. I know they had some videos where they were using the basing textures. I would very much like to figure out how to use those. Because at this moment, I don't have a clue. I don't know if you just take a brush and just brush them on. I don't know how that works. So I changed some of my light setup. I don't know if I'm just trying to get rid of some of the glare in my video. But I don't feel like moving the lights really helped that much. It was more the settings in camo that did the trick. So I do know I want to go heavy with this dry brush because I'm going to be putting a few different colors, well, variations of this gray. So kind of going lighter as I go along. Maybe I shouldn't be taking so much off of my dry brush each time. So, tomorrow here in America is Memorial Day. I don't want to downplay that in any way, but it also is the 49th anniversary of Star Wars, which was released May 25th of 1977. So for me, being a huge Star Wars obsessor, it's from May 4th all the way to the 25th. Star Wars is celebrated at my house. I didn't do as much like decorating and stuff. I usually pull all my Star Wars stuff out of my nerd room and throw it all over the house. But this time I left all the spring stuff up. I don't know, I just got lazy. I had some expectations of where I was gonna get with that ATTE Walker, and I did not get as far as I thought I would. So here we are. I probably should stop applying this to my thumb because I'm not as concerned about how much paint is on the brush this time around. this point, I'm just trying to get coverage. I'll get a little more critical on my next couple passes. So hopefully everyone is having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I know I am. Anybody that's been here before has heard me complain about the change in our work schedule that ruined my life. Hold on a second. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. This is a bigger miniature, so it makes more sense to zoom out a bit. Okay. I forgot to get paint. Or water, I mean. Not paint. Not that I'll need it too much for this stage. Alright. So that was dark neutral gray. Let's grab slate gray next. Not a lot of variation with this one, but enough. I mean, it's got a good amount of variation. Alright. So still looking to do a lot of coverage with this. And on this gun, I'm probably, well, we'll see. His rifle, I'm going to apply some of the graphite gray one-step paint. And then I might do just a little more dry brush highlighting. So before I jump too far, this was my first test with the one step. This guy's not done. I realize I have a little more work to do on him. But I primed him black, did a zenithal dry brush with just white. And then on all of his armor plates, I mixed this one-step special sauce medium with white blue. And then I used graphite gray one-step on his rifle. Still kind of want to... Oh, it doesn't really need it. He's not done in the sense... a little bit around this foot, maybe. But then he's part of Clone Commander Cody's little unit. So he's got to get the orange, and I haven't even figured out. We'll mess with that. I've got about, I don't know, say yesterday, I keep changing the number because I haven't counted. It's got to be 70, 80 total clone troopers that I've got to mess with. The number keeps changing, just like the size of the fish keeps changing. There's a lot. Okay, guys. So today I apologize if you've been here before. You've heard me tell the story, well, 3 times now this weekend. This being the 3rd time. I primed all my clone troopers uh white. I had a strategy for them. Oh, it was a great strategy. Very proud of myself. I was gonna prime them all white and then airbrush it's called cool gray, which I'll be using on this. Uh and then just highlight the armor plates white. But I didn't even think about all this black. It's like a body glove that the stormtroopers and clone troopers wear. Didn't even think about all that. Um, Thankfully, I am a regular in Monument Hobbies stream, and someone asked about that black and how they paint it, and Jason said, "Well, I just prime it black, and then it's already done." Oh crap! And I started looking at it. I'm like, "Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna." There's no way under Earth that I am going to be able to hit all of that black leather without hitting the armor plates. So, I had to change strategies, which is fine. But what I did is I took them and I reprimed them black with the Rattle Can primer, and I missed so much. So, I took a bunch in my airbrush booth yesterday, and I took the rest of them in this morning to fix them. And then I reprimed, I think I said this already, but sorry, I'm old. I reprimed all of my, there's only 7 of them, but the Wookiees, reprimed them with the black brown. And then, did just from the 45-degree angle with the taupe primer. I don't know if that counts. Okay. So that was the slate gray. Where's my hue chart? Not that I really need this. It's in the right spot. Neutral gray. Okay, so now I'm going to start doing a little less and less. So I probably should put as much of this on my palette. You can see I'm still trying to not hit my trooper. And no, I'm not washing out my dry brush. I know, I'm a rebel. So again, more trying to hit the areas that that the lights are missing. Yeah. hopefully now all my alerts work. My stream chat is gonna be or audible to everyone. I'll have to figure out how to turn that off completely. A little dinging. I don't need that. Okay, let's put some dark neutral gray. Slate gray. Neutral gray, and then let's pull out. Yeah, so this is what I was gonna use for all my clone trooper, stormtrooper armor. Was this cool gray, and then just highlight it with like a bright neutral gray, and boom, armor. I did that with a random Jedi that had like a clone trooper armor, or that same plate for his chest, and I think his boots, and it looked great. So my thought was, hey, I'm gonna do the same thing. I decided not to. Things happen. Yeah, so this is a perfect candidate for using those weathering pigments, but like I said, I'm gonna have to do some further research on those. I have no idea. I think with how often I'm in Monument Hobby stream, I would know. But more often than not, I'm just in there working. More recently now, actually with our schedule change at work, that does allow me to pay attention more. But a lot of times I'd have my headphones in at work, and well, on one hand, I'm able to do that. Uh, I'm sometimes I'm a boss there. It's not like anyone can tell me, hey, you can't listen to that. Yes, they can. I just don't care. But yeah, now I can actually be home and focus on their stream. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to where I'm putting this in the camera view. So yeah, when they were doing a lot of the weathering pigments, I didn't like I had it on, but I wasn't paying attention that well. Okay. So that was cool gray. I guess bright neutral gray, but this has got to be very, very faint. Yeah. That's probably too much. So I am going to still apply the bold titanium white on this trooper. But I just want this to is why. What's that? Oh, someone just followed. Nugget McRubbins. Sorry, I was playing around on my phone, and well, thank you for following. Nugget McRubbins. So that's not my normal alerts, by the way. It is going. How are you doing? I got rid of Stream Elements. I heard they were getting ready to go bye-bye. And so these are just standard Twitch alerts that I just got working again. What are you up to tonight? Hopefully you have off tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna pull out this, yeah, I know last night when I was streaming, somebody followed and, oops. Dang, that's not, somebody followed and I didn't even, because I didn't have my alerts, I didn't notice until I was off stream. I don't even know who it was either. It didn't show up in any of my things. Just letting into the hobby of... Oh, so you're new. Well, ask away. Any questions you have, I can do my best to answer. I'm still what I would call relatively new. We're at about 2 years in this, which I still say is relatively new. But anything I can help with, I would love to. What are you working on right now? Hey, ABG. Maybe G's a little less than new. He's only new to streaming. Started painting Dark Angels. Oh, okay. Those are Space Marines, right? Are you using Citadel? Oops, shoot. That is not what you want to do with your models. Actually, ABG is one that can answer anything that I can't. And how did you shout out in your stream last night? I don't know. You'd think with me having streamed for a year now, I'd know how to do that. Do you have to have those commands set up though? Either way, Nugget McRubbins, follow Adventure Built Gaming. He's another streamer. Procro, hey. Oh man, we're winning. That is my favorite. Sadly, the rest of this white paint is just getting wasted. Unless I pull out another Clone Trooper and dry brush them. I might do that. I hate wasting paint. Even though I buy it like it's going out of style, I just hate wasting it. So, yeah, I'm gonna grab a couple. Okay. Still learning how to thin my paint. So the cool thing about Pro Acryl, I don't ever thin my paints. Pro Acryl is, basically they're good out the bottle. Now, if you go to the Monument Hobby stream, which I am a frequent, well, I'm always there. I'm always working. What he'll do is when he dips his brush in the water, he doesn't take all the water off, and that's the only thinning that he does. But with Pro Acryl, I don't thin mine at all. Now, it's still a good practice to learn. Oh, it is a fun stream. I don't know how long you've been watching, but him and his main producer, Chris, they have such wonderful synergy. They're just fun. But he also he's an amazing teacher. Since watching their stream now for quite a while, the amount that I have learned about miniature painting is, well, exponential since I started frequenting their stream. So on these, I'm dry brushing pretty heavy. Maybe a little too heavy, but I'm going to use that one step special sauce mixed with the white blue, like I did on my first Clone Trooper. Came out looking pretty amazing. Yeah, that's the one thing about because I was horrible about thinning paints before. I started with Army Painter. I started with Army Painter Speed Paints, which is a contrast paint. And then I moved to their Fanatic line. I'm loving it. I just got mine. I just got mine Friday. Oh yeah, I love speed paints. Yeah, so I started with the Army Painter speed paints, and I learned similar method to what I'm doing right now. I've always called it slap chop. Texas Warsmith. Dang, you've been hanging out with me 3 streams already? That's what's up. Welcome in. Yeah, so I started with the speed paints. At first, oh my goodness, I still have some of those models. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. They looked like flaming dumpster fire trash. Like really. My prime, a lot of it with speed paints, contrast paints. Oh no. I was using white primer and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So speed paints pick up whatever is underneath it. And so the skin looked horrible. I look back and I'm like, what was I doing? Once I learned slap chop, that fixed a lot of my my problems. Sorry, like I said, I really hate wasting paint. I'm bad, and I still have a little bit more on my palette. So Just using it up. Yeah, this walker model that I got, it came with actually 2 full functional drivers, but there's only a spot for one, so I still built the second one, and the ATTE walker that I got off of Gambody, it has a spot for a gunner to sit on that main cannon. I am painting off the camera. Sorry, guys. And this guy, since I scaled it right, this guy fits perfectly on that seat. So that's why he's a part of this little adventure. Okay. Now, take this and wash this a little bit better. Especially since I got that white paint all the way in there. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna wash this real fast. Check. There we go. I don't know why I'm having problems with my mic tonight. So I think I'm done with this. I don't know how you're supposed to get this lid back on without just like that. Okay. Man, I love dry brushing. Okay, so Nugget McGrubbins. So you got Proacryl. Yes. You'll find I get distracted very, very easily and very often. So far the one-step paints I'm in love with. I use this one-step special sauce. I definitely recommend getting this. This clone trooper was using that one step. I used the special sauce mixed with a white blue from Monument Hobbies, and I primed this black, dry brushed white, just like this little Walker guy, and then I applied that over it, and I thought it came out looking amazing. And then his rifle, I just did the one-step graphite gray, which is somewhere over here. No, that's graphite paint. It's kind of a dark gray. Yeah, here we go. Came out pretty dark. And it still kept some of the dry brush highlights on the rifle, and it ended up looking pretty good. So I recommend getting those paints. I think contrast paints are good in general, but these have so many more uses than just a normal contrast. Like using them as what they call a filter, almost like a glaze or wash. It's really, there's a lot you can do with it. Let's see if this is still. So I can just mix some more of that white glue into here. My only challenge with these, they say when you're mixing the special sauce, use like a 2 or 3 to 1 of medium to paint. Feel like probably a little more than that though. Otherwise, I just felt like it was too thick. But also, you know, like that's one drop. I don't know if you can see that, or my finger's in the way. And that's a thicker drop compared to when the special sauce comes out of the bottle. Because it doesn't drip, so to speak. So I just have these cheap synthetic brushes I bought off Amazon. Definitely don't want to use your good brushes to mix stuff like this. One piece of advice I can offer is you don't want to let your paint get up into the metal part, ferrule of the brush. That's how you ruin your brushes. Alright, let's see how well this, that should be good. I hope. I've actually mixed too much medium. So I'm gonna say I did. I didn't. My girlfriend did. Got some tri-tip roasts. So I'm gonna be throwing them on the smoker tomorrow. And then we're gonna wrap up some. She picked up some of those red cherry tomatoes and some sweet peppers. We will throw that, some cream cheese in those peppers. Oh, and a couple jalapenos. Not a lot. Those don't get eat up as much. Ate up. We'll wrap all that in bacon. Oh, it's gonna be. I may not be that good at smoking. But my tri-tip on the smoker. Ooh, buddy. I've tried, I mean, they turn out all right. I did some ribs and they were all right. The first time I did ribs, they were amazing. But then I've just been struggling to, I made a couple changes. Smoking's hard, and I don't do it enough. I don't know why. Maybe because I live in Vegas and we're always, 1 degree less than hell, which is Phoenix. Uh, but yeah, that's my plan for tomorrow. Sure, sure you guys can see what I'm doing. No, we do not need any AI viewers. No, thank you. Ooh, you know, so we got the tri-tip from Walmart. I would say the little Walmart. Ooh, steamed broccoli. That actually sounds good. I'm not a big broccoli eater, but I can get down on some steamed broccoli. When it comes to red meat, Walmart just has, at least out here in Vegas, we've got a couple variations of the Kroger stores, Smith's and Albertsons and Vons that are now all owned by Kroger. Um, but yeah, the Walmart Angus is the best of all the red meat. I've been very disappointed every time I go to a different grocery store for a red meat. Even, like ribeyes, especially ribeyes. I'm always getting them from Walmart. I hate Walmart with a passion, but I don't hate them enough to not spend my money on their meats. That's why you got to get a girlfriend or wife or whatever that enjoys going out shopping. Be like, hey, she might be in here lurking, so I might get yelled at. periods. I need to touch up on his armor. And then this is my favorite type of holiday weekend. Like, yeah, having Fridays. Oh, it's a cool spot. Having Fridays off are nice. Um, but I prefer having the Mondays, because then it's followed by a short work week. That is all his rifle. I will probably do the same, hit that with that graphite gray. That turned out really well. Yeah, we'll say with this, they did, I mean, you still gotta be careful, but they did eliminate some of that coffee staining issues that I always had with my army painter. It said you still gotta be careful, but and these don't function 100% the same way. I don't think I want to hit that. As a contrast paint, it works a little differently. I think that's why it works so well as like a filter. Yeah, I think I was mid-sentence talking about work, and then I moved out. What was I saying about work? Oh, yes, short week. And the best thing is my boss is on vacation this next week, so yeah, I'll be leaving work early. Uh, Before they messed with our schedules, we were working Monday to Thursday. And with me being salaried, uh, gone are the days of me working them 60, 70-hour work weeks. I did that. It didn't really do much for me. So I don't do that now at this semi-newer job. It's not a new job. I'm now at 3 years. Um, but I have a saying that I love to say, it's five enough. That's usually what I tell my employees when I'm getting ready to leave. But now that we're on Monday to Friday, I'm getting there around 5 a.m. I'm not paying attention where I'm dropping this paint. I'm getting it on the spots that are supposed to stay black. Just busy running my mouth here, not paying attention to what I'm doing. Um, in some ways, it's nicer. I'm getting out of work around 2. Start between 5 and 6 and leave around 2. Yeah, I am definitely getting it in the spots that are supposed to be black. So I'm gonna have some fun trying to touch this up without ruining the armor. Shit. Ah. This is also not. This one's kind of dirty looking. It's not hitting as heavy white as that first clone trooper. I may have put too much medium in there. But the good news, I can just put a second coat on. So as of right now, I'm not, I have no intention of streaming tomorrow. I do want to have one day off. Uh, although I did intend on, well, let me rephrase that. I was talking about streaming today, and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna, and then here I am. Um, so tomorrow is, well, it's both Memorial Day here in the States, but it is also the 49th anniversary of Star Wars. May 25th, 1977. Which means next year it's 50 years of this wonderful, wonderful movie uh, franchise. Did anybody go and watch The Mandalorian and Grogu? I won't watch it in theaters just because I don't go out. It's I'm pathetic. Uh, my girlfriend's daughter went on a date with her boyfriend to it. She said it was good, but she's never watched any of The Mandalorian, so she didn't have a clue what was going on. But I do want to watch it. I know the critics slammed it before it even came out, and there was a lot of anti sentiment towards it. I think that's because Disney's done such a bang up job with everything. Bang up in the negative sense, sorry. That was the wrong word. Um, I think everyone's just right out the gate hating on their stuff. Everything that Dave Filoni has done, uh, he was involved in the Clone Wars TV series, the cartoon series. He was involved in Rebels, Mandalorian. I think he was involved in the Ahsoka show. Like, all those have been great. At least in my mind. So I have no reason to believe that this movie won't be. But I'm also easily entertained and easily pleased. I know a lot of people had problems with the Book of Boba, and I loved it. So it doesn't take much to make me happy. I'm also one of those crazies that that enjoyed the first Justice League movie. It was not a good movie, but I loved it. What do you call it? The Snyder Cut was so much better. But I loved it. I had no problem with it at all. It's just me. Okay, that's much better. Do I need to do the same on him? Probably a little bit. Yeah, I think I mixed too much medium. Which is fine. Do some cleanup. I know in the Monument Hobby stream, they were just kind of slopping this stuff on, but I think that's making me a little careless. I'm going to have to do some touch up on the black. It's going to suck. But I've definitely got some of this in the that black body glove. When a master painter like Jason from Monument Hobbies is slopping stuff on, it's different than me. He has a very controlled slop. Mine is very uncontrolled. As it's evident here. Oh, in other very exciting nerd news, I discovered that Star Wars Legion had a Master Yoda, one of their Commander expansions, Grand Master Yoda. And I was able to find one on eBay. It showed up yesterday. And so he got Prime today. And very, very excited for Master Yoda. I am such a... Man, I'm such a nerd. I love Master Yoda. And the coolest thing I didn't realize when I bought it is it comes with 2 miniatures. There's the pose of him kind of leaping off a rock with his lightsaber. And then there's a second miniature, and there's 2 variants that you can choose from. One with him holding his lightsaber and holding his hand out for the Force, and then one with him holding his hand out the same way, but then uh, holding his cane instead of a lightsaber. Which I did the cane option just because I figure if I've got one miniature with his lightsaber and I want one with Yoda looking old. Something's wrong with that. Okay. Sorry. Stream manager on my phone looked frozen. Uh, so I know this is going to hold in these little Jello shot cups, so I'm going to save that. I know I've got others, but I only intended on working on this. I just didn't feel like wasting paint. Um, so again, I'm gonna bust out this. Oh no, I already had it out. Never mind. This graphite gray. I think I had a cup, but I don't know what I did with it. And then I will have to touch up. But I mean, the cool thing is, I'm about done with this. No, there's a lot of little touch-up work that needs to be done. But the bulk of this, like, that's the cool thing about this. If, you know, just getting this tabletop ready, there's not a lot more that needs to be done to make this tabletop ready. And that's the beauty of any contrast paint. Is you're able to get a pretty good look with very little effort. Yeah, I'm gonna apply the same graphite gray to these handles. Even though I'm not gonna apply them to the handles on this walker. I don't know what this walker is called. I don't know. Okay, that is a good opportunity. I'm gonna take a real quick break. Uh, I don't expect that tonight's gonna be a super long stream. I just wanted to get something in and because why not? It's a 3-day weekend. I haven't had one of those in a month and a half since those foul knaves changed my schedule. Okay, let's pause real quick. I'm gonna refresh my whiskey, and then we will jump back into this. So, be right back. Okay, there we go. I don't know what is happening with my microphone or my audio. I have to keep resetting it every 10 seconds. That was an exaggeration. Okay. I remember what this is called. It's an ATRT. I don't know what that stands for, but that's what it is. I still need to apply another coat on that guy. What about this one? This one looks pretty good. Still kind of a dirty clone armor, but uh don't mind me. So ATRT. It's an all-terrain reconnaissance transport. Uh, in reality, it is. It's an entirely gray walker. There's some slight variations with different ones, but like somewhere this gets like a bluish black. But for the most part, it is just it's a gray walker. So a lot of this stuff, it looks like there's various freehand options that I'm not going to be able to do. But it's all grayish. So I might try to do some of the uh I kind of dig. There's one I'm looking at that it's got color in these little spots and color kind of here on these. Uh, so if I want to do something to match like a Legion, but this is a different kind of trooper on here. Yeah, this is more like it. So I definitely need to touch up the black all over. I even got some of the white inside his mouth. That should be more of a grayish. But I also think I do need to do one more coat of the white blue one step. So let's first try to fix some of my sloppiness. I can put this dry brush away. So let us grab my number one. Yeah, so I think I've got that ATTE. I don't remember what that stands for, but I got that tank. I just did some various Shades of Gray airbrushing. 50 Shades of Gray airbrushing. I kid. Maybe. So in reality, all I really need to do on that is just some strategic dry brushing. So I think maybe where I get with my grilling adventures. Cool thing about smoking meats, since we're talking about it, is I can set my smoker and walk away. I don't have to monitor it in the same way as like a grill. So I can just hit go on my smoker, throw the tri-tip roasts in there, and walk away. So hopefully I can get some good amount of hobbying done tomorrow. And I know my girlfriend will help with getting all the bacon wrapped vegetables, because that takes such a long time. But she's been kind of pushing me out of the way and handling a lot of that herself. I'm without a job there. Yeah, that was kind of random, but I saw it on there and I wanted to replicate. I'll probably throw in a little bit of a grayish highlight on here as well. So what about everybody else? What do you guys got planned? For those of you in America, what do you got planned for this Memorial Day weekend? Anybody cooking out, grilling, hobbying? What are we working on? What are we gonna do? That's Uh-oh. I hear a kitty crying. He wants in the bedroom. And the door's closed. Alright. I'm gonna open it for you. There you go. Oh. Alright. So now I want to... Actually, I'm going to use that same brush. Because I don't want a ton of this. I want it to be very controlled. Nope. what I just do. Let's try that again. I know it's kind of strange listening to Warcraft music while I'm painting Star Wars, but I had a after I got off yesterday, I got an email. Shit. Not the DMCA or whatever, but it was basically a warning saying that copywritten music was detected in my VODs. And when I looked at it, I mean, I don't really do a lot with the VODs, but it had muted the last 3 streams from the Star Wars: The Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2 soundtrack. It's never had a problem with that, and it's a video game soundtrack. YouTube hasn't had a problem with it. So really strange, but and like I said, I didn't get a copywritten, like the strike on your account. But I just didn't want to mess around with it. So we're back to Warcraft music. Which after tomorrow, not that I plan on streaming tomorrow, but after tomorrow, we'll be going back to, most likely going back to painting Warcraft miniatures. May is kind of a, well, it's a month of holiday for me, where I celebrate Star Wars. Tomorrow being not only Memorial Day here in America, but also the 49th anniversary of Star Wars. Star Wars: A New Hope was released May 25th, 1977. As I said earlier, that means next year marks the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. I think they're going to re-release A New Hope into the theaters. And yes, that one might take me out of my perpetual hibernation. I may have to go and see that in the theaters. Chromatic Cobra, that is a good question. I don't know. I only heard rumors that they were going to bring it back to the theater. I don't know if I saw anything official. That would be a really good question. Which will it be, the original, or will it be the what do they even call that, where Lucas did his edits? I mean, personally, I have no problem with his edits, other than, hey, Han Solo shot first. I don't care. Yeah, the Lucas edits. I thought they had some name, but you're probably right. It matches his character. And I don't, I know in our day and age, we want everyone to be righteous and good. It's like that doesn't take away from Han being good. That just makes Han smart. What are you gonna do? Wait for Greedo to shoot and hope that he misses? Ah, better shoot. He's coming to take you. Jabba didn't care if he was dead or alive. Probably alive, but exactly. It's not that Han was ever bad. He just, yeah. Well, I think too many people got on their self-righteous, whatever you want to call it. Too many people just were self-righteous. That's not right. Han is a hero. Heroes don't kill. It's the Batman. Heroes don't kill. You're like, yeah, well, then. And some of the Batman explored this whole deal that, hey, you're responsible by continually allowing the Joker to, what was it, The Dark Knight? Not the movie, but the comic that explored that a little bit. Exactly. Oh, that's beautiful. A little more. You gotta show our human sides too. And again, like I said, if anyone else was in that situation, you've got a gun pointed at you and you've got one under the table, are you going to sit there and wait for him to make the first move? I hope not. You already know what he's going to do. Might as well, might as well take that first shot. And so, yeah, when he did that edit, it looked horrible. It's like, yeah, he is so, based on that edit, he is so lucky that Greedo missed. But I mean, the rest of it was pretty good. Yeah, that's good for that part at least. CHX1138. That was the Stormtrooper, right? That was the name of I don't know if I've ever, what movie is that? TK is the Stormtrooper name. 1971. Oh, see, I only know of Star Wars and American Graffiti. I didn't know Lucas made other movies. Um, what did he remaster that one too and redo a bunch of stuff in there? I've never even heard of that movie. I thought you were talking about the Stormtroopers in A New Hope. Those were like TK something something. I'm gonna forget that name. Okay, I've never even heard of it. What is it? What is it about? I feel kind of ashamed right now. I have never heard of it. Future dystopian society and the man that breaks free from it. How is it that I've never heard of it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up now. I mean, Lucas, he's not the best old school actors too. Um, well, I mean, he's a pretty good story writer. He just can't write a love scene, as was evidenced by Robert Duvall. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Yeah, that's some names right there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to now. So I'm just adding some black, and since I did the black on his helmet, this guy's not gonna get any other colors or anything. So I'm just gonna follow one of the designs I saw, but instead of putting blue, I'm just gonna do this black. I have to figure out how to highlight some dark neutral gray on here. Try not to hit around this. Yes, I hear you, kitty. Announce into the world that he went to the bathroom. Oh, I don't think you guys can hear that. Chromatic, were you in Brain stream? Brain rot stream? Yeah, I had him in the background. I didn't before I decided I was gonna jump on and stream, I didn't well, I wasn't going to stream tonight. So I had him on in the background. I wasn't, he doesn't always get volume. Sorry, brain. I'm digging that VTuber though. Yeah, Plobby did a amazing job on that one. Was very, very impressed. Uh, Brains or Plobbies? I think Plobby is just sculpting, so you must be talking about Brain. Yeah, his ink one, yeah. Now I've got a few sketches he's done At work, he's always drawn on something, and then he just throws it away. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, why? But I guess that's what he does. He's always drawing. He can't save all of it. But he'll just have the back of his production logs that he's just going to town on. You've been following him for a bit, haven't you? My freehand here is garbage. I don't know how much more I want to do. Oh, okay. I thought you were in there a little bit longer. Yeah, I've known him for a long time. I just never knew he's strained. But he is the responsible one as to why I'm doing this. Sometimes I still don't know if it's a good idea, but it's too late. We're here. Yeah, same with like the miniature painting. I like to have at any given time, although right now I think there might be one or two that I know on. I just like to see what other people are doing. And some are a little more entertaining than others. Um, but yeah, it's always helpful to have someone on in the background. I get into I start talking and then I don't get anything done. Okay. So what more do I want to do on this guy? I don't know if I really want to. There isn't really a lot more to do. So do you do digital art as well? Okay. A coder. What do you code? Yeah, this might be a wrap. Except I'm gonna do brown earth for the base. Brown earth, of course. I already have this brush used. Oh, so you do coding for work and then personal. Okay. You're up only 30 hours in the day. I wish there were 30 hours in the day. I lurk a lot in both Brain and Ink's streams, but I don't know if he's complained about our work schedule change. I know all weekend long I've been complaining about it, and I complain about it at work all the time. Uh, we were on a Monday to Thursday schedule, Uh, it I hate it. It bothers me so much. Yeah, he's a little I think his thing is um, he doesn't necessarily have to be there. He enjoys being there. And although things are shifting, I think he looks at it more like I don't need to be here, and so I've got plans to not be there. Yeah, that was my parting joke when I left on Friday was enjoy your normal weekend. Um, I mean they were I'm salaried, so I was still only doing 40 hours. So it's not as crazy as, their 12-hour shifts they were doing. They were going coming in 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Uh, I'm in back then it was like 5:30 to 3:30 for me. Being salaried, I don't have to take a lunch, so I just don't. Um, I was sometimes, but yeah, it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I go home, relax for a little bit, and go to bed. But then those 3-day weekends, I was streaming Fridays, I was streaming Saturdays, and then Sunday is my rest day, and it was nice. Uh, now it's the Monday to Friday, and well, it's nice getting out at and maybe that's why he's not hating it as much because he streams more during the week. Uh, but and he makes fun of me all about this all the time. I get off of work, I'm just beat, and they'll tell you I don't do anything, and it's mostly true. Um, but getting up at 2:30 to go to the gym, and then going into work, and you get out at like I'm leaving at around 2 in the afternoon or so, and I've got all that time, but I'm just dead. Uh, so it just sucks. And then my other joke is I get off of work on Friday. I leave around noon on Friday. Figure if I can come in 9 hours Monday to Thursday, then I can work 5 to 6 on Friday. Still over 40 hours, but exactly. Uh, so I get out of work Friday at noon, and then I get home 5 minutes later. It's Sunday night. It's just like where did the weekend go? Just yeah. And I know that's like my whole life. I've worked Monday to Friday. Well, since I got out of high school. High school was, part-time McDonald's. But since I got out of high school, it's been Monday to Friday. Different schedules at different places, but yeah. So this weekend is much nicer in that uh, we have our normal weekend. So that's why I left around midday on Friday, and then I streamed yesterday morning. Did about 5 hours, took a nap, and then did some prep and streamed again for a few hours last night. And now here I am. I'm at, what am I at? 2 hours about. And tomorrow I will grill. I won't even grill. I'll just smoke meats. Uh, and I feel like I've gotten a lot done. Do you stream at all? No, I gotta let this dry a little bit, but I want to put this fine earth. Oh, strictly a consumer. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Um, Streaming is it's not always the easiest. I'm still sitting on whether or not I'm gonna buy. It's the same Stream Deck that Ink bought. Yeah, somebody has to be in the chat. That is true. If we're all streaming, then we're all competing. Now it's a little different with the miniature painting, since it's such a small community. Yeah, we're still competing with each other, but I feel like a lot of times there's much more of a community. And I know it's the same in the art where, you're raiding into other people, all that. But yeah, no, streaming is especially if you're not entertaining. And some days, most days, I'm not. I'm boring. I just want to put my head down and paint. But then Ink yells at me, tells me I'm boring. He has a very interesting way of telling me to do better. He's probably lurking in here, so hopefully he's listening and hears me say that. Yeah, this is gonna take a little bit to dry. I should probably mess with another. But I would say, oh hey, it actually focused. Wow. I've been having problems with this camera all weekend too. I finally got rid of the glare, messing with some of like the exposure settings and all that, but you can see that it's what's still wet. Thank you. This was very easy to do, believe it or not. I got this new, it's One Step from Monument Hobbies. This is the medium that will take any of their paints and turn them into what's called a contrast paint. So I did this Saturday morning as just an experiment. So this is just black primer, dry brushed zenithal, so from up to down with white. And then I mixed that special sauce medium with, actually, so let's sit now, this white blue, and applied it all over the armor. And then I used this one, graphite gray, on his rifle. And I had to do a little touch up on some of the black, that body glove that he's wearing. But then I just did golden earth for the base. And I thought this guy was done. I still need to apply the orange stripes or what have you. He's part of Commander Cody's unit. But yeah, this one took about an hour and a half. So, usually a miniature's 4 or 5 hours for it to look good. This guy has been a lot of effort. I was going to repaint his skin and this shirt, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think it's good now that all the rest of it's painted. So the only thing I'm going to do on him is paint his eyes. But yeah, this was a lot of hours. So let's let that dry a bit. I'm going to do the same thing on this guy and this little guy. Or black paint. Yeah, this one I got really sloppy on. I was running my mouth and not paying attention to what I was doing. So I got that white one step all over. Or I do one more coat of that blue-white one step. Uh, touch all that up. So I probably will pull the trigger on that Stream Deck. Just with how much I streamed this weekend, there's a lot of applications that I could have really used that for. Especially like the zoom on the camera. I don't even know if that feature, I gotta figure out how to do that with a key. Before I go off and spend money on a Stream Deck. Because my camera connects to this software called Camo. Got a Razer Kio V2. Some fancy Wazoo camera that I was in Adventure Built Gaming stream last night. It's one of the Razer webcams. I don't know if it's their most common one. It's a nice camera. It just comes with this software called Camo, and it's got like adaptive AI features and shit like that. Excuse my language. But a lot of it is meant for, from what I'm learning, it's more meant for like if it's a webcam on my face. It'll track my face and, really cool features which don't necessarily help for miniature painting. So yeah, I was sitting in Adventure Built Gaming's stream last night after I was done, and he's just using his old phone for his camera, and I'm like, the zoom and the focus on that is so much better. And I've got this fancy Wazoo camera that ain't doing crap. Use other words, but I need to cut back on my swearing. Yeah, it was I mean, it looked great for him. Just oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, well, I take all my miniature photos with my camera on my phone now. I had a camera that Ink gave me, and trying to mess with all those settings, I just could not get it right. My phone, this is a Samsung S20 something. It's not the newest, but close. exactly exceeded them or merged them. Sorry, merged them. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember. I used to have a flip phone. And now your phone does all of it, which is awesome. It's like, wow, how far we've come. Now we don't have to do anything. We have AI to do it for us. And I know I can turn my phone into a Stream Deck too, but I know that Elgato one is still better. You know, and I know being in a art focused stream, I'm supposed to be anti AI. I'm not, but it's I have the ability to critically think. And so when AI makes mistakes, because it makes a lot of mistakes. Um, it does it all the time with everything, not just image generation, but like I'll use it for like, hey, how do I do this? And it'll tell me something like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. It's like, oh, well, you're right. Like, really? Um, so that's where like I get the whole anti for like school age children, where they want to get AI out because it gives you the wrong answers. But it has a lot of advantages. My AI that's associated with Angry Grizzly is it kind of knows what I want, uh, and gives me really good ideas. So I am not on the anti AI bandwagon. I think it is a tool that if you learn how to use can be very helpful, but it's just that it's a tool. That I agree with. Um, it's I wish that like I pay for one of the AIs, uh, Chat GPT, and I wish that some of my money would go to artists. Um, but I always bring up this story because it's so true to the point that I always make. And I know Ink makes the same point when him and I are talking about this. There's this miniature painter, sorry, called Next Level Painting, and he also does art. He loves to do Warhammer 40K crossovers with He-Man, which are really cool looking. But him and his buddy, who is I guess a master prompter is what they call him. They worked with his AI to replicate his art um using his style. Oh shit. Luckily that did not. That was not where you wanted to drop that. Damn. Alright. The damage was minimal. I don't know if you saw that. I dropped him right in the cup of my one-step paint. Ah. Oh, you froze. Good, so you didn't see it. Or you froze when you saw it. Um, yeah, so he, okay, when you saw it. Yeah, that is one of those moments where you're like, what do I do? I've done worse. I think it was just the other night, I was messing with a bottle, and I didn't wanna rip a lot of these build up this little, uh, dried paint on top. I was trying to I opened it, some of the paint came out, messing with it, not trying to rip it off and get paint all over my finger. I closed it, and this paint, like, splurted all over my face. Luckily, it's not that thick in here, so it did not, get all over the miniature. I mean, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world if it did. I would just have to touch up that black again. Yeah, because it did get on. I'm getting it on my fingers here. Oh well. I'll still have to do a little bit of touch up on there. Um, what was I saying before I dropped it in my paint cup? Oh yes, next level painting. So he trained him and his buddy trained his AI to replicate his art style, so now he can churn out this 40K Warhammer 40K He-Man crossover art that looks exactly like his stuff. Um, and that's my whole point is he was able to monetize it. And I think that's the key is how do you monetize it? How do you make it profitable for you? Yeah, and he's an artist. He's an amazing miniature painter, amazing artist. But he was able to unlock the code to monetizing AI. And that is that's the key, is whether we like it or hate it, it's not going anywhere. So how do we utilize it like the tool it is? Uh, let's oh, I gotta touch up his space. Um, how do we utilize it like the tool that it is and monetize it? I think a lot less people would have problems with it if there was a monetization of it. And of course, the companies that are building these things, have no incentive to help anyone with that. So it's more on us, I don't really consider myself an artist, but it's more on us to figure out how to monetize it for ourselves. So for me, it's a lot of, like I look at my Etsy listings for physical miniature prints. That's all. That's all AI. And I look at it, I'm like, well, I'm not. Yeah, I can write. I can write. I can write decently. Um, but do I really want to put that much time in it, or do I want to just say, hey, computer, write something about this for me, and let it do the work for me, and then I can focus on the stuff that I enjoy, and not get bogged down with all that stuff. Yeah, that's beautiful. Um, I don't know if Ink talks about where he works or what we do, but we work in precious metal, and we've got one guy that we have to use for a lot of our coin designs, and this guy is an AI clown. He prompts crap. Um, no, so the coins we buy the blanks from another mint. But then like we make cast bars, we get these large silver bars. I know he doesn't like talking about this a lot. I don't care. Sorry, Ink. Um, we get these large bars, we turn them into little grains, and then we weigh those grains out and make cast bars. Um, it's all silver, pure silver, like 3949 fine silver. Um, and so when we make these coins, we have this artist that the headquarters forces us to use. He just prompts AI. He has no idea. He can't make changes. We made a Year of the Horse, and the artwork he sent over, the horse had a fifth leg growing out of his back leg. Oh, oh my goodness, yeah. Um, it definitely appeals, and I don't get into politics or things like that, but um, just matter of fact, it appeals to right wing. Anytime there's any fear of like the banks or the government, war, people want to be able to hold their money. And so they'll invest in precious metal and silver, gold. Um, and you want it in a form like you can have like a nugget of silver in your hand, but how do you turn that into cash? If you have metal that is stamped or that has weight purity and a reputable mint that made it, that has their mark on it, you can go to a pawn store and turn that into cash instantly. Uh, so yeah, there's a huge market for precious metals. Um, and just to give you some context, 2020 silver was around $20 an ounce. Gold was about $2,000 an ounce. In the last year, silver has climbed. It actually broke $100 an ounce. It's now sitting at around 80, and gold broke $5,000 an ounce. So more than double the price of gold and almost quadruple the price of silver. And they think that silver and gold, even platinum, they're used in all kinds of electronics, all these electric cars, all that stuff. Um, and so there's a lot of people that are saying we are pulling more metal, or sorry, we are using more metal than we're pulling out of the earth. Uh, and so the commodities exchange, which is another big uh, marketing stock exchange type deal in New York and England, they are playing with metal prices. And if that was ever to be truly revealed, silver, not gold, sorry, silver could go to a few $100s plus. Just because silver is the most conductive element in the world, conductive metal. And it's in all of our electronics, all of our computers, all the electric cars. And so the demand is more than what we know. It's still not fully dried, but I might start putting some of that fine earth on it. I mean, I don't. I collect silver for the collectible, like the cool looking coins or ones that I've made that have the nostalgia. But your old man ain't wrong. Um, like if you bought it a few years back, just the return on your investment. I'm not big into the whole, like I feel if society collapsed completely, like a lot of the preppers think, um, you know, it's not going to be, yeah, silver will have some value, but you're going to have more. You want bullets. You want bullets and canned goods. That was if a full collapse ever happened. Uh, but at that point, we've got bigger things to worry about than whether you stockpile silver. But in a normal society like it is, it is a good investment. If you've got extra money, I would recommend buying, especially now where it's around 80 an ounce. Um, a lot of the people that predicted it was going to go to triple digits that proved right. Um, they think it's going to get up to like 150 before the end of the year. So probably not a bad investment. And like I said, it's very easy to liquidate precious metals. So it's a good investment. I don't really invest in it, but I probably should. I mean, I've got some that I can sell and if it goes real high, but uh so there was a point of why I brought up precious metal. Oh yeah, AI. See, I go off on tangents. Um so yeah, when we're making those coins, we've got a guy that we have to use, and he just does AI prompts. Has no artistic ability. You ask for changes, he just prompts something new in AI, and you get completely new stuff back. Uh, he's everything that's wrong with AI. Then you have another guy who actually just left for a different job this past Friday, was his last day. Um, he'll start with AI, take that image and fix it. And he's a perfect example of using the tools to make something better. So all that to say that again, it's a tool. Yeah, I'm happy. The base, of course, you can see it's still wet. I just applied that the fine brown earth, and I do want to. I've got these weathering pigments. This might not be the right one. This is the brown iron oxide. I don't really know how these work. I probably want to use more like a burnt umber. Or is it raw umber? Which one's darker? Burnt umber. I have no idea how these are supposed to work. They're raw pigments, so it's like dust. So this is like raw pigment. Now this brush was a little wet, so I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. Well, see what that does. I think you're supposed to put like a varnish over it. Because yeah, it's just raw pigment. So you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Because I've got that, I was talking about this earlier. Got that ATTE walker. I definitely want to brush some of this pigment, uh, this weathering pigment on there, on its legs. So I think this is a wrap for this guy. Uh, yeah. So I did a little, black here, black there, and then on his feet, just because I only did those two. There we go, the two black lines on his helmet. Uh, I think that's a wrap on that walker. Obviously, the basing, that basing texture still needs to be uh, dry, so it looks discolored on the base, but it's all gonna look the same once it all dries. And then this guy, all he was, this model came with two full miniatures, which is kind of weird. Um, one that's sitting there like that, and then one, uh, which this guy does have a rifle. The second one has a rifle for his back. I didn't prime it. Um, but the way I scaled that ATTE walker, this guy actually can sit perfectly on the big gun. There's a seat there that he fits on. Yeah, doesn't look like there's any type of light on those two antenna on the back. So I think they're good like that. Let's see, we're 2.5 hours in. Let's keep going. So I dry brushed these guys. I think I'm gonna apply that. These are more clone commandos. So if I recall, their faces had more of like a bright, almost like a. This we're gonna try this. It's like a fluorescent blue, plasma coil glow. Wonder if that'll work on that. Because these guys, that might not be the right brush. Uh, they had more of like a light in their visors instead of just the black visors. No clue if this will look, because it's still pretty dark on that visor. Yeah, may have to go white. Hey! Well, thank you for lurking. Getting the grots put to bed. I don't know if you saw my masterpiece. I mean, I am pretty impressed with them. The base still has to dry, but I also dropped some of those weathering pigments on his feet and partially up his leg. First time I've used them, and thank you. Um, Relatively easy. I thought it was going to be much more difficult, but just various stages of dry brushing on the walker, and then same thing on him as I did on that clone trooper. Only difference is the little black lines. And then you missed. I was working on this one while the basing textures were drying, and I dropped him in my my little cup of my one-step white blue. Thankfully, it did not cause that much damage. You can see a little white there and there, but yeah. Chromatic Crow said he was holding his breath. Whoops. Yeah, I can't rage on AI. I use it, like it. No, Ink always makes fun of me for my name because I'm not angry that often. I don't remember what he calls me. I mean, there are times I did this, I uploaded an image of this dragon, and I was like, help me with these colors. Like, give me some paint ideas for this. You know, I am an artist by imitation. So sometimes trying to figure out what colored paints get me to this color is such a challenge for me. And it gave me a recipe for these horns, and they were black horns. I was like, okay, cool. And I'm looking at the recipe, I'm like, that's not gonna lead me to black horns. It was giving me for white bone. On painting. That is how you do it. Especially when you drop it in your paint cup. Just keep on going. Yeah, it gave me a recipe for white bone. And I even explained to my little AI friend, like, that's not right. These are black spikes. Like, oh, you're absolutely right. Here's a recipe for those. And it gave me another one for white bone. So, again, AI is a tool. I don't think it's going to be replacing any of us anytime soon. Well, maybe soon. But until that day, I'm going to use it as a tool. I'm not going to get angry because you can't stop the advance of technology. As much as you might hate it. You know, I saw a video. I think it was AI. The person that posted claimed it was AI. It was Boba Fett bringing Han Solo, frozen in carbonite, into Gold and Silver Pond, which is here in Vegas. So that was that show, Pawn Stars. And so he's bringing Han Solo, frozen in carbonite, to sell, and you've got Rick Harris from Gold and Silver Pond behind the counter. And it was very well done. Like, the voice sounded like, what is it, Robert Tamura is the actor? Like, it sounded just like him. And Rick Harris looked exactly, I think that's the guy at Gold and Silver Pond's name. It looked exactly like him. And it was a funny video. I kind of wonder if it wasn't AI. It was too good. It was on Threads. And, of course, you know, you had a whole bunch of comments of hatred with this AI slop. Like, this actually looks really good. But again, I get the hatred for AI. as Chromatic and I were talking about, like, it would be nice if the artists that stuff is getting pulled with this would uh, get a cut of it. But the companies, that are pulling all this, they have no obligation or motivation to send anything to artists. So, I'm not insensitive to that fact that there's a lot of artists that their work gets used by AI and they don't ever see a dime of it. I'm not insensitive to that fact. Uh, but, with many of the other things like letting AI do searches for you and pull information, uh, that's very handy. I don't remember if these guys' backpacks were white, but it's too late now. And I can already see I'm getting this in some of the black areas. Even using the smaller brush, I'm still too sloppy. So it's all good, guys. I will say I am majorly in love with this one-step paint. So I will have to figure out, because if I'm remembering, these guys' visors were kind of like a blue backlight inside their visor. So I don't know if I want to just drop this one step in there and then use this plasma coil glow and then figure out how to darken it. Maybe. Cool thing about this stuff is I can just repaint it if it doesn't work. So let's do this. Or it could do absolutely nothing. Yep, that didn't work. That's alright. Uh-oh. Well, They really do. I mean, there's a lot, of course, me holding a miniature, I can see a lot of the imperfections still, but no, I mean, this whole one-step deal with these is amazing. I'm loving it. Uh, yeah, no, and I've barely scratched the surface on what I can even do with this one-step paint. I've used blue and graphite gray, and then I've used the medium for one color. So the amount of stuff I can still do with this, uh, yeah, there's so much possibility. The world is my oyster. It's actually a pretty morbid quote when you really look at it. Basically saying the world is my oyster and I can take it by force. Yeah, so I've got, I don't know, 70, 80 of these guys to paint. But we're having fun with these. I've got a lot of touch up on this one. I got pretty. Let's cover this back up. So I can keep using that. And I'm very pleased with how this one-step paint is working, and very pleased with how these troopers are coming out. I definitely need to be a little more careful, because what I'm doing right now is not ideal. So it's very difficult to get all of this without hitting the armor again. So I need to be a little less sloppy, but like I said earlier, Jason at Monument Hobbies, swapping paint on and me swapping paint on are two very different things. I think there was a white band in there. That's why I put that there. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to revisit that. That's all. And then of course their fingers. Hey, ABG, you stream tomorrow, don't you? During the day? Anybody here that is not following ABG, Adventure Built Gaming, please do so. So yeah, there is a white Let us try this now in his visor and see if that shows up a little bit. Now, the problem with the army painter, well, with most fluorescents, you gotta let them dry and then add more coats. That's what we'll have to do. Yeah, tomorrow I will not be on. The plan is to grill, smoke. Smoke, lots of tri-tip roast. Uh, Pretty sure, and we'll have to wait for him to confirm, but I'm pretty sure ABG will be on tomorrow midday. Well, midday from me. I'm Eastern time zone. Sorry. Wow, it's getting late. It's almost 9 o'clock here. I'm Pacific time zone, not Eastern. ABG is Mountain. So I think he streams, it's 11 o'clock this time on Mondays. Usually I'm at work, but tomorrow I will be off. So I will definitely, if you are streaming tomorrow, I will definitely be there. I definitely got a little sloppy here. Even when I applied that black, I got sloppy. That may be a good sign for me to call it. That's the only thing. Monument Hobbies does not have a blue fluorescent. All right, Chromatic. I appreciate you hanging out. You have a wonderful night and the rest of your weekend. Yeah, I don't think I'll be on too much longer. Like I said, it's already 9 o'clock here, and I'm old. I think that'll work. I'm gonna have to put a bunch of coats of this plasma coil glow on here, but uh yeah, we're almost 3 hours. I should probably look and see if this backpack's supposed to be white or what. Oh, and I gotta set my printer up to print up some more stands for these, uh, one-step paints. Well, I'm pretty happy with where we got. Uh, this guy, of course, has a little more I gotta do on him. I just think I need to have a little more of a fresh eye before I go to town on him. But we got this random. He's gonna sit on that ATTE walker that I printed. That hopefully tomorrow I finish painting. And then we got this that basing terrain is our basing texture is almost dried. Got him done. Pretty happy with him. And I used some of that weathering pigment on his feet and a little bit up his legs. Kind of give that dirt look, and that turned out pretty nice. So I may add some black weathering pigment to darken it up a bit. It's the weathering pigments from Pro-Acryl. This was burnt umber. So it's a little bit different. I used a dark brown basing texture, and this is so it's a little browner than the base. So I may throw in some of this black iron oxide, but these are just they're pure pigments, but they're weathering pigments. I think I still have to put some type of like oh, excuse me. Put some type of a varnish over them, like a matte varnish to seal them on its feet. Yeah, it's just pigment powders. Um, never used them before. Yeah, so I know I've got a matte varnish from Monument Hobbies that I bought for that reason. But I want to let that basing texture dry. Excuse me. Um, are you streaming tomorrow? So, it's too much, but might as well. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. How are you feeling? You sounded pretty rough, last night. You know, I got sick a few weeks ago, and I don't know if it's related. I keep popping bloody noses since then. It's been a few weeks. Yeah. Rest is the most important for healing up. Well, I think I'm, gonna take us out here. We're at about 3 hours, and I think that's more than sufficient for a Sunday night stream that I wasn't planning on streaming on. So let us go to. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, it was fun. I always feel like I can accomplish a lot more when I'm streaming. It's just I'm more driven. Uh, Sometimes I can get real distracted when I'm not on stream and I don't get a lot done. Or I just sit and be lazy. But here I can focus a little more. So I will not stream tomorrow. ABG, if you're on tomorrow, I'll be there. Tomorrow I will be smoking some tri-tip and making some bacon wrap veggies for our mate. So, um, I will definitely be back this Saturday, probably around 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, you too. Um, Hopefully you get some rest and heal up a little bit. And if you're not on tomorrow, not a health first, stream second. Um, yeah, getting sick is not fun, and rest is the best thing to fix that. So, um, well, I appreciate everybody that hung out and stuck with me and listened to me vent about everything, AI and work, and that wasn't too much venting. We actually got some good stuff done. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. So, um, yeah, I'll definitely be back Saturday. I might pop on during the week. We'll see. I'm really trying to figure out a time to stream at night, um, so that I'm not just doing once a week. This weekend was real nice. This is my third stream this weekend, uh, and I feel pretty good about it. But yeah, everyone else, for everyone in America, have a happy Memorial Day tomorrow. Yeah, kind of a machine. That's what happens when I get a 3-day weekend. Get productive. Um, but yeah, have a happy Memorial Day. For everyone else, have a happy 49th Star Wars anniversary tomorrow. And as always, stay mad, stay angry, stay grizzly.